Yes. I found this the other day. Isn't it appropriate? Isn't it exquisite? Look how thick that embroidery is. It doesn't really look like it. I actually had to ask the people that started that, is that a pineapple? They went, yes, so. Yeah.
How has relationship changed from the last saga?
Henry has a lot more sex. A lot more. Because he's gotten hip. He's given up the old Henry. He dresses cool. He's moved into a loft with a building of lofts with hipsters. Thus, he has a lot more sex. But he does keep an eye on his boat. So he has like his old ways a little bit. You know, anybody screws with his boat, you know, he'll be down there. He'll be old Henry. But he's, I think he's sort of gotten into the world, but I don't think that's anything really a big leap. Because if you think over the years, Henry was a guy who went and got massages, he went and got manicures and pedicures. I mean, if you remember, there were episodes where Tim Curry, he had a robe that Tim Curry put on, and he's wearing my robe, Sean. Yeah, so I don't think Henry was ever that far out of that zone. But while he was a cop, he had to be a cop. No, Henry has come to San Francisco partly because it's Christmas, to visit Sean, and then something happens, and all of our cop instincts come out. And, you know, he fights it for a while. Even willing to risk his new cool clothing. But you'll have to see more.
We'll get some good Robinson bonding in this one.
Not like there was before. You know, I think that whole, we're not bonding, but the original show, the original part, even going way back when we had the flashbacks which stopped, was that that relationship, really building on the relationship. I think by season 5 or so, I think we all said we get it. We get what that relationship is. And there are moments when I get shot. Whenever I know we have a moment, I hand him my badge or something. I can't remember what it was. But we bonded. But I think at this point it's a little bit more mature. You know, it's like, he's older. He's not a kid anymore. I can't tell him what to do. He makes ridiculous statements to me about my age, and they just I let them go over my head. But I think there's always going to be this wonderful relationship between him and Sean. But really, Sean is who he is because of the relationship he has with his father. I mean, there's not a mother there on a constant basis for a purpose. It's because it's a relationship with his father. And not just observation and stuff I've taught him, but, you know, I think Henry's a good guy. And I think Sean's basically a good guy, and that comes from being the son of Henry.
A fan wanted to know, what is the craziest thing Henry has done to help Sean in his psychic biz?
Craziest thing he's done. I'm trying to remember back over the years because there was something, I can't remember what it was, but I covered up something for him so he wouldn't get in trouble. But I honestly, I don't know the answer to that.
Is there anything he does in the movie to help Sean?
Well, he's there. He shows up. I mean, he gets a beating. But give us all the stuff we can talk about and not talk about. Henry takes a good whooping, and it's ultimately for Sean.
Okay.
So what was it like coming back after 3 years and getting to play this new, hip guy with the goat dynamic now? More relaxed.
It was great, you know. I mean, Henry's still Henry, so I didn't have to reinvent who he is. Yeah, you put on the clothing and you're half the way there. But coming back was perfect for me, for my character, because Henry's moved on. So I can bring new Henry into this environment And it's not like I have to be. I think they had to be a little bit more of like who they were. And for Henry, it's great. I get to come back, come to the party, which is what this was. It continues to be what we're doing here. But Henry doesn't care as much as he cared before. Does he slip back into being old Henry? Of course. But, I mean, for me, it was like, hey, where's my ticket? Get me to Vancouver. Check me in. Go and have some food. Be with some friends. And then, work long hours. You realize, oh, we're back at this.
So he wears cooler clothing, but is Sean still making fun of Henry for
Oh,
wearing the clothing?
I think he asks at one point how old I am, and he says something. I think he answers something like, "I know it has a couple of zeros behind it or something." Yeah, Sean loves his dad. I'm certain of it, but he's a kid who would never admit it.
Okay, at this point, are you telling us that in the movie, Henry is the youngest from Sean? Sean wasn't a great dresser.
Right. Wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
So, in the beginning of the movie, who's a better dresser, Sean or Henry?
Henry's the best dressed out of all of them. Henry shows up cool. Wait till you see Henry's entrance into this thing. Yeah, Henry shows up pretty cool, very different, and then Sean has a funny reaction to it. Yeah, included in "Who Are You?"
And how are your dynamics with the other characters like Juliet and Gus and stuff now that you're the hip guy?
I don't think he cares about any of them. It's like just a bunch of kids. His major relationship, his big relationship in this is with Woody, who's a buddy. We're same age guys. I think his reaction to Woody is kind of the reaction he used to have to Sean. Like, what are you doing? Because Woody, which has not been talked about much here, is pretty crazy. Very funny. I mean, funny, it's not been talked. I think we can talk about it. Yes. We know he's in it, right? Yeah, okay. There's to do and to don't list.
Last question, guys.
What's that?
Last question.
Last question.
What scene are you most looking forward to fans seeing in the movie?
There's a pretty funny scene, as I mentioned, where Woody and I get the crap kicked out of us. That's pretty funny. It's the funniest, painful scene you'll ever see.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.